Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me turn that off for a second. Hold on. There we go. How's it going? Nice to see ya. So glad you're watching. Actually, there's nobody watching yet. There never is in the first 30 seconds because you haven't got the notification I'm live yet. So thanks for joining me when you join me. This is Mana Studio Live, and today I just wanted to go on a quick studio tour. It's not really a studio tour because we're not going to move anywhere, but I want to show you all the gear and everything that I used to create the Reawaken Hymns studio album. So here it is. Got the CDs in the mail a while ago. By a while ago, I mean like 3 days ago. I'm so excited. First full-length studio album from Reawaken Hymns, the Modern Hymnal Volume 1. And it went on pre-order on Thursday. So you can go pre-order it right now if you want to, or after you see this video, maybe you'll want to pre-order it. But you can pre-order it right now. Go to the link in the description below. In the description of the video, there's a link to where you can pre-order this, and it officially releases on September 6th, this Friday. So in 3 days. Ooh, that's so soon. So there it is. Modern Hymnal Volume 1, first full-length studio album from Reawaken Hymns. It's kind of full band. It's not kind of full band. It is full band. I recorded electric guitars and bass and drums and synths and piano and acoustic guitar and vocals and pretty much everything. And so today I want to show you how I did that. Since that's what Mana Studio is all about, is fun technical stuff and ways to do it with a budget, although this wasn't super budgety. But yeah, I just want to show you what I did, how I did it, the tech I used, the gear I used, the sounds I used, all that good stuff. So let's get straight to it. Let's see, what should we start with? If any of you guys have questions out there while I'm going through this, just let me know in the chat right there on the side. I can see it and I'll answer your questions. But we're going to go look at all my gear. And if any of you want to see something specific that I didn't show, I forgot to show, just let me know and I will show it. All right, so let's start with the base here, which is the computer and the DAW. So for a computer, I currently use. I'll swing it around for you. It'll be all trippy and like way. There you go. See, we got the crazy mirror effect. So this is my current computer. It's a iMac i9 processor. I think it's like 6 cores. The 2019. So it's a new iMac, and it's ridiculously powerful. Ugh, let me get you back up there. It's ridiculously powerful. I actually got it because the computer I was using just kind of wouldn't record anymore. I kind of ran into its limits of its processor and everything. So this computer works great for that, but you don't need this big or crazy of a computer to record an album. Just so you know, in fact, most of the studio album, the Reawaken Hymns studio album, was recorded on my 2015 MacBook Pro, which is still a great computer. I mean, it's 4 years old, and it was the bottom of the product line, like the cheapest version of the MacBook Pro you get. So it wasn't super powerful to start with, but it was fine to record an album mostly. So you don't need a big, fancy, expensive computer to record an album. You just need something decent. So like if you have a MacBook, pretty much any MacBook that'll work. If it's a slower, older MacBook, you're going to run into limitations when you get more tracks and more plugins and things like that. But it will record the same sounds. Or if you have a PC, any like mid-level and up PC will do. Usually it's in like the $600-$700 range where you get into kind of usable for audio recording. If you have like a budget PC that's like the, $300 or $400 cheaper laptops or desktops, sometimes those won't be so capable. They have like the slower i3 processors and maybe not SSD hard drives and not enough RAM, etc., etc. So you might run into trouble there. But in general, just to record a simple album, you don't need that much and that fancy of a computer. I would say i5 processor, faster, should do you fine for most things. RAM, I'd go at least 8 gigs. Most computers come with at least 8 gigs nowadays, except for the ultra cheap ones might have like 4. I'd go at least 8. More is better, but at least 8. And then SSD hard drive is really, really important. So if you can upgrade if you have an HDD, like the spinning disk hard drive, and you can upgrade that to SSD, that'll probably be the biggest speed bump for recording, at least in my experience. So that is the computer I use. The DAW I use, I don't have to switch it around my camera, I can just show you, is Logic Pro X. I absolutely love it. To record an album, you can use any DAW, really. If you have GarageBand, that's fantastic. I recorded all of my first albums when I started on GarageBand, and it's got really good sounds. It's a really good program. There's also other cheap DAWs you can use for PC and such that will work. So you don't need a super fancy DAW, but I absolutely love Logic Pro X for a couple reasons. One, it's only $200, which is like, $200, that's a lot of money. But for a professional DAW, which a DAW is a recording program if you don't know. For a professional recording program, $200 is absurdly cheap. And Logic, what sets it apart from like the other Pro DAWs like Ableton and Pro Tools and Reaper and Studio One and all those, is that it comes with, for that price, a ridiculous amount of really, really good sounds. And you're going to see that most of the things I used, almost all of the things I use on the album, are just stock plugins and such from Logic Pro. I think the piano is really the only other thing I purchased extra. And we'll get to that, but you'll see that. So Logic Pro is $200. If you have a Mac and you want to record like a serious album, I'd invest in Logic Pro. It's a great program, but just for the sounds you get for that price is amazing. So, and I'll show you. You'll see that as we get into that. So that's my computer. That's my DAW. That's what I recorded it on, Logic Pro. This here you see open is Nothing But the Blood of Jesus, track number 11. Let me get back to big screen here. So let's go with, I'll just show you the instruments I used. Actually, no. Before I do that, I got to show you the other most important part. That is the audio interface. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a box that takes an analog signal, which you'd get from any of these here, and it turns it into a digital signal, which your computer needs. So you can't record with that one. You just can't. You can't plug an acoustic straight into a computer. You have to have an interface to go between them. So it is absurdly important, and luckily something you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on. So this is the one I got. I'll show you here. Let me move you around again. Oh, there we go. It's kind of dark. So this is the Behringer. Let me get you some brightness here. Oh, that was the wrong camera. I'm adjusting the brightness just a second. There we go. So this is the Behringer UMC 404 something something something. I'm not sure of the model number, but it's a 4-input audio interface. It's got a whole bunch of connections on the back, 4 individual channels there, and it sounds really good. I really, really, really like it, and it's only $150. So again, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get a really good interface. Some people hate on Behringer stuff. That's because some of it's bad, but some of it's really good, and this is one of the really good ones for a cheap price. So that's my audio interface, Behringer UMC 4 something something something. It's just the 4-channel $150 Behringer interface. You can find it. Maybe I'll put a link to it afterwards. I can't do it right now, but afterwards I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. So that's my audio interface. Again, I really like it. Oh, sorry, I gotta adjust my picture again. So that is probably the second most important thing, maybe the most important thing, next to the computer and the DAW. So once you have that, then you have a way to get instruments into your computer. Now you can record an album. So this wasn't supposed to be like tutorial-ish, but I have a hard time not teaching, apparently. I don't know. I was just going to show you what I'm doing. So let's get to that part. I'm going to show you what I recorded, what I used. So first of all, let's go with the guitars. So for acoustic guitar, this is my acoustic guitar. It's the acoustic guitar I use for everything. Ooh, strap's caught. It's Taylor 114 CE. Really, really like it. I use it for, this is my guitar. I only really have one good acoustic that I use for everything. So I love it. So that's my acoustic, and to record it, I did not plug it in. So it is acoustic electric, as you can see here, but I did not plug it in. And if you're going to record acoustic guitar, don't use only the audio or the pickups in the guitar because they won't sound right and it won't sound good. That's a big mistake I see a lot of people make starting out. They think they have an acoustic, so they can just plug it straight in and get a good sound, but it just won't work. So always mic your acoustic guitars. What you can do if you want to is mic the acoustic and use the pickup. So plug it into one channel and then use the mic on the other channel, record 2 channels of audio, and then you can mix those both together and you can like mess with them and get a cool stereo sound and such. That's okay because you get some real room sound from the mic, but don't only plug it in. You need to mic your acoustics to get a decent sound out of them. So I'll show you the mic I used. I've recorded acoustics with several different mic configurations. For most of these, I actually just used the same mic I use for vocals. Oh, I'm caught around my wires here, and this is it here. This is the AKG Perception. There's my pop filter. Get that out of the way. AKG Perception, large diaphragm condenser microphone. I love it. It's really, really good. I've also used like a pencil condenser to record acoustic, and that's worked pretty well. I liked it. What I will do sometimes, I didn't do a lot on this album because the acoustic wasn't forefront in a lot of the songs, but I'll use this and a pencil condenser, which if you don't know what it is it's just those little cylindrical condenser microphones. I'd use this and that set up kind of in a stereo pattern next to each other, like one pointed at 12th fret, this pointed kind of down below the sound hole, and then you get a nice stereo image, and you can get really good sounds too. And if I was going to record just acoustic guitar by itself, and that was like the main feature of the song, and I needed a big sound to the acoustic, I'd probably do that. But for most of the songs on this, I just used this to record the acoustic, and it worked really well. So that's my microphone, and this was also my vocal microphone, the AKG. And I also have Audio-Technica, which I'm recording in right now, so I'm not going to show you. Actually, I will show you another tour. So there's the Audio-Technica you can see there. Similar microphone. I didn't like it quite as much for vocals and guitar, but I do like it for speaking in podcasts like this. So this here is the mic I used on pretty much all of my vocals and pretty much all of my acoustic guitar. So AKG Perception, only $150. Which, again, for pro mics is really, really cheap. So, I like that. So, that was my microphone. Oh, sorry about that. I banged it on my desk. Let's see. What else? So, that was my real instruments there. These are real instruments, too, but you'll see what I mean. Next, let's go with electric guitar. Ugh. Caught on my stand again. Ugh. Okay. So, here's my electric. So Ibanez Artcore. Sorry, look in the comments. Stan Lay said large diaphragm condensers work well for me for acoustic. Yeah, I really like them for acoustic. And you can use them double duty because they work really well for vocal too, so you don't have to buy 2 mics. Although, come on, once you buy one good mic, you're going to buy more. So yeah, I really like them for that. So this is my electric. This is an Ibanez Artcore, I think it's called. I don't know. I've actually had it since like high school, but I really like it. The hollow body electrics give you a really nice clean sound and a pretty good like crunch. They're not great for like heavy distortion and metal and such, but really good for clean, really good for crunch. And I really like it. And I'll show you what that sounds like in the DAW. Let me get that all set up. Put on my headphones. Let's go to this scene here. All right, so here you see Logic, and I use a couple electric sounds. Sorry if I got louder or quieter. I can't hear anything. I used a couple electric sounds. Most of the ones, well, about half of the ones I used on the album are actually just stock patches from Logic because they have some good ones, and then a couple of them I custom made. But again, all using just Logic's built-in plugins. So this one is Crunch Echo, Crunch One-Sided Echo, which is actually a pre-built one that comes with Logic that I really like. So let me see if I can show you what that sounds like here. There we go. Switch my pickups. That's the one I use for all the lead lines because it's got that nice delay on it. Yeah, I really like that one. So that you'll hear that sound on a lot of the lead lines in the album. And then the other one I used a lot is this one here. Oh, that was wrong. Sorry, you were hearing. Oh, yep. What are you hearing? Sorry. Oh, okay. So what you were hearing was my custom-made one. My bad. Sorry. Yep. So that's one I made called Slightly Overdrive. I know, super creative name. So that's my favorite one. And the reason I really like recording guitars, electric guitars, straight into Logic Pro is because they got really nice pedal boards and amp simulators. So you can see here's the pedal board for that. This is the one I custom made. I got all kinds of pedals on here. Tremolo, a compressor, another compressor, delay, chorus. These two overdrives aren't actually on right now. They're just if I need a boost. So you can see that's the pedal board and all the pedals here you can add. And then here's the amp simulator. You can choose what amp head you want, what cab you want, what mic you want, where the mic's placed in front of the thing. I mean, you can see these are all mics, different mics you can use. I can move it around like this. You could switch all kinds of, here's all the cabinets and here's all the heads. So yeah, I can't afford amps that good. So Logic Pro's sound works really, really well. I really like it. So this is my custom made one you already heard. Oops. What'd I do? I've done something. There we go. Use that for a lot of like big chord sounds. So here is the crunch one-sided delay echo, which is a pre-built Logic sound that I'd use for a lot of lead lines. Sorry, mixed that before. There's that delay. And also when I record electric guitars, I usually pan them. Most of the electric guitars are panned one way or the other, or I have duplicate electric guitars and they're panned both ways and they have different things playing. So typically I'd use this like this. Try that. You can see that's pan and the delays in different ears too. So those are the two main electric guitar sounds I used. I used some clean ones as well. I didn't really have a good preset I went to for clean, so I kind of just used whatever sounded right and messed with it. Like, let's see, if I need a vintage verb. Still on the wrong one. That wasn't it. This is it. That's kind of a reverbing sound. Clean Echoes is a good one. So that is how I recorded electrics on the album. It's just this Ibanez going straight into the audio interface and then using Logic's amp and pedal board simulator, and it sounds really good. So let me put that away. Oops, sorry. So that is the, let me turn this down so you don't get a pop. That is my electric guitar. Now I'll show you my bass, which is caught, hold on. Oh man, this is wrapped around everything. Oh boy. Okay. Whew, that was difficult. So here's my bass. Let me plug it in. Hold on. Alright. Turn that back up. So this is just a Squire I really like, sorry, can't see that Squire. I know, it's a cheap beginner's bass, but what are you going to do? I really like it. Really like how it plays, really like the sound. I mean, it's a budget Fender. It's really good. It's the P-bass style, as you can see here. I like it. That's what I used on the whole album, is this Squire bass, and I think it sounds really good. Plays really well. So let me get to my bass here. Gotta change the input so we're not blasted. Okay, turn it back up so you can hear it. There we go. There's the bass. So I pre-made my own bass sounds. Not pre-made. I custom-made my own bass sounds. There are some decent presets on Logic, but none of them are quite right for what I wanted. So I'll show you my bass 1 and bass 2 presets. That one's got a little more treble and finger action to it, for more moving bass lines. And then bass 2 is a more sub bass, like less finger noise and just the bass. And those are the two bass sounds I used. Both of them are pretty similar, just different EQ. So it's got a bass amp simulator as well, like the guitar amp simulator, which I really like. I'm just using a direct box, a bass direct box, because that's what it sounded the best. But you can use different kinds of amps here. Oops. I don't know why it's not changing, but whatever. Oh, there we go. Wait, amp. There we go. So you can use different kinds of amps, but I wanted a direct box. And then through a big old cabinet. I really like how it sounds. So, yep, just Squire bass through a Logic presets. I made 2 different presets for different playing styles. So that is how I recorded bass. Put that bass back there. Oh boy. It's close quarters. Alright. So that was acoustic guitar, vocal, microphone, electric guitar, bass. Now I'll show you piano. You can see over here. There's my piano. That's just a little 49 key key station, MIDI, USB piano. It's pretty old actually. I have a nicer 61 key piano that I used to use, but the D key broke, so I can't use it anymore. So I use that one. Sounds fine. Since it's MIDI, it doesn't make any sound, so you're gonna get the same sound, just less keys and not weighted. So I'll show you that. Let's see. Here's my piano. That's not my normal piano. That's like a special effect piano I used on this particular song. Let me show you my normal piano. So this is really the only instrument I bought separate from what comes with Logic, because Logic pianos are good, but they just weren't cutting it together. I needed something a little more realistic, I guess. So a long time ago, I bought the Addictive Keys piano plugin. I think it's like a $150 plugin. I got it because it was on sale at like Black Friday for $29 one year, so I bought it then. It's really good. I really like it. I don't know if I'd spend $150 on it, but for $29, it's awesome. And it is what I use for almost all the pianos. Also, I'll show you that here. So you can see here's the plugin. Again, you could choose a lot of things, and you can't actually move the mics, but yeah. It also comes with upright, and Rhodes. I use the Rhodes as well a lot. So play that for you. Oops, sorry. I gotta scoot back a bit. Sorry if that's really loud. I really like how it sounds. I'll show you the stock piano in Logic just so you can hear the difference. Piano. Yamaha is kind of the stock piano in Logic. Oops, that's really quiet. Sounds good too. I just don't think it sounds quite as good as the Addictive Keys. Let me go back. So that's what I use for piano. As I mentioned, I also use that for Rhodes as well. Here's the Rhodes sound. So that's the Rhodes sound I use on all the songs as well. I mean, there wasn't Rhodes on all the songs, but if there was, that's the sound I used. And then, let's see. I mean, I also use it for synths and stuff, obviously, and I'll show you those separate. So, for synths, I used all kinds of synths for the album because each song seemed to need a different synth, which is strange, but it did. I bought some settings called elation pads. It's not an instrument by itself; it's just like patches for Logic, and I really like those. I use a lot of those, but I used all kinds of pads I got downloaded for free from all over the place. So you hear a lot of different pads on the album. Here's the beta pad. Really subtle, really quiet in background. I really like it. Here's Blue Carpet. This is a preset from Logic. A little more techno-y, I'd say. Here's a Delta pad. So I used all different pads, but they all sound very similar to that, just slightly different. Most of those are elation pads, which I think was a $40 pack of presets. I believe it was around $40. And then also for pads, I forgot to show you this earlier. So I used electric guitar for most of my pads, at least for the more prominent pads. So let me show you that. Gotta unplug everything again. Ugh. Just a second. Just a second. Gonna show you the pad setting I used for my guitar. Sorry, just a second. It's going crazy on me. Had to change all the settings around. There we go. Ooh, glad I turned that down for you because I got some terrible hisses. All right, here we go. So this is the swells I use for guitar. Show you what they sound like. Let me turn down the mic here because you're probably hearing that too. So you'll just hear the guitar. Let me turn this mic. Yep, so that's what I use for most of my pads is actually just guitar swells. It took me a long time to figure out that setting on there. So it's got a lot going on. It's got a noise gate. It's got a pedal board with several flanges on it, an echo, an amp, simulator. Then it's got a compressor, which is a big thing to get swells because it'll squash everything down to just that sound. A delay, which is important, and then Space Designer is a reverb, so it's got a really echoey reverb. You can find presets online for that. There's a YouTube channel or a website called Chords of Orion, I believe it's called. He does a lot of ambient stuff, and it's really, really awesome stuff. I think I might have got this preset from him and then messed around with it, but I'm not totally sure. But yeah, so I use the guitar swells for a lot of my synth sounds on the album. And then I think that's almost everything. And finally we got drums. Very important, obviously. So I'll show you how I did drums. I didn't use a mic'd reel kit just simply because I don't have a good room for that in my house where my studio is. I can get a decent sound out of it, but I also like the control of the electric kit. So I used an electric drum kit to do the sound to the drums on the album. And I used Logic's built-in drum kits. They're MIDI drum kits, and they sound phenomenal. They sound really, really good. I really like them. And they probably sound better than if I tried to mic drums in one of my very poorly soundproofed rooms. So I'll show you that. Here's the drums. Let's see if that's up. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to switch cameras and I'll go play the drums for you. Actually, I'll play the song and I'll play along for you so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So the drum kit I'm using here is Brooklyn. Came with Logic. And they have these plus kits where you can adjust every single mic on every single drum. So really like their kits. Really, really like their kits. So I'll play that for you. I'll play the song and I'll play along so you can hear it. Oh. I should probably mute the old drums here. Alright, I'm going to switch cameras to... Oh, there's the drum camera. So that's the drum kit I use. I was laughing in the middle because I changed a bunch of settings to show you things and all the wrong instruments were playing. That's not how the album sounds. I don't know what that weird noise was. Yep, drums were a little quiet. I know you couldn't hear them super great. So I'm going to go back over there and play them without any music playing so you can hear them. I'll turn them up a bit too. All right, let me go over there and you can hear what they sound like. I'm really far away, so it's going to be hard to hear me talk, but there's the bass drum, toms, snare. You know what? You're probably hearing all the mic sounds, aren't you? This is why live streams are hard. I'm going to turn down the mic so you don't hear. All right, there we go. So that's the drums I used. Sorry, that took a while. Hopefully you finally heard it without all the mic pad. You could hear me clacking on the mic, I'm sure. Doesn't sound good like that. So that was a Brooklyn kit. It's actually not my favorite kit on there. It just fit that song better. There's a brush kit on there that sounds really good too. And those are really cheap electric drums, by the way. Those are Alias, Alesis. I don't know how you pronounce that brand. Alias, Alesis, whatever. It's Simmons. That's Simmons. Sorry, and it's like a $400 kit. No, it's a $500 kit I got on sale for $300, which I think it's actually normally $300 with a fake sale. So it's like a $300 kit, which is bottom of the barrel electric drum kit. And it's not the greatest. I played on better ones. They sound or they feel better, but if you're using Logic sounds, you're gonna get the same sounds anyway. Just maybe a little more difficult to get the subtleties of what you want. So that's how I did drums on the album. Played them on the electronic kit and used Logic's drum kits, which I must admit I felt a little bad about doing because for some reason in my head, real recordings and real CDs have mic'd drum kits and whatever, and I had to get over that and think, no, that's not true. First of all, there are professional recordings that use MIDI kits all the time, not to mention all electronic music. But if you don't, I think the professional thing to do is to get the best sound possible. And for me, with my budget, in my space, that's the best sound possible. I could have mic'd some drums and it wouldn't have sounded as good. The recording wouldn't have sounded as good. And why would I do that? Just to know that I mic'd drums instead of playing the drums and using sampled drum kits. Why not? It's what sounded better. So that's what I did. And I really like how it sounds. It sounds like real drums to me. I mean, it is real drums. It was recorded real drums. I played on a kit. It's real drums. So that was my weird soapbox I didn't mean to go on. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything? You guys want to see anything else that I did? It's pretty much all of the instruments. Yeah. I can show you my acoustic preset. It's just really simple. There's just some compression and EQ on it, and sometimes I split it into a delay to make it stereo, but that's it. Lead vocal is really simple as well. Reverb, compression, EQ, all that. That's it. That's how I recorded. So that's all the instruments I used. That's all the settings I used. After I was done recording and mixing everything, I exported them as AIF, high quality 24-bit AIF files, and then I mastered them back in Logic again with some compression and limiting plugins and such. So I did pretty much everything in Logic. That's how I recorded the album. So let me show you two. I lost it. I lost the album. I also lost the CD. Yep, so that's how I recorded this. The Modern Hymnal Volume 1. First full-length studio album from Reawaken Hymns. If you want it, it's out. Well, kind of out. You can pre-order it now, and you can see how to do that in the description below. But it will be officially out on September 9th? Nope, September 6th, this Friday in like 3 days. It'll be on my website, which would be a great place to get it because, it's easier on my website. But it'll also be on iTunes, it'll be on Google Play, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be anywhere you get music, you'll be able to find it. Modern Hymnal Volume 1. I'm proud of it. I don't like talking about myself or what I do, and I really have a hard time being proud of things I create, and I think I am of this. So that's cool. That's first for me. So I'm happy about it. Go check it out. And that is all I have. If you have thought about recording something, recording songs, quit thinking about it and just do it. I mean, it's fun. It's really fun. I love recording stuff. If you have GarageBand or anything like that, you can easily record what you need. There's a video on Mina that is like how to set up a budget studio, but it's super easy. Just take your computer. You need an audio interface. That's one thing you'll have to buy. If you don't have a microphone, you'll need to buy a microphone. But other than that, you're pretty much good to go. You plug in your microphone to your audio interface, open GarageBand or whatever you use, Logic Pro if you have that, and hit record and just record and play around with stuff. And it's really fun. And maybe you'll come out with a full-length studio album all of a sudden like I did. So that's cool. That's all I got. Thanks so much, guys. And I will see you back here next week with another video. And please go check out the album. I think it's pretty good. I don't like saying that. I really don't like saying that, but hopefully you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. How would I say that? And I think you probably will if you like hymns. So thank you, and I will see you back here next week.